Sometimes the most ordinary moments turn into the most terrifying ones. A quiet town, a woman heading out for a night with her friends, and a phone call that was never made. By the end of this evening, nothing in Cedar Ridge would ever be the same. Angela Montgomery, 33, was known for her infectious smile and boundless energy. A teacher, a mentor, a daughter, and a friend, Angela had a life filled with promise. Her career was flourishing, her friendships were thriving, and her relationship with her boyfriend Jason seemed perfect. But on the night of May 18, 2019, Angela vanished, leaving behind only an empty apartment, unanswered phone calls, and a heartbroken boyfriend. Angela Montgomery was a woman everyone adored. Bright, ambitious, and passionate about teaching, Angela dedicated herself to her students, always going above and beyond to inspire them. She was the kind of woman who made others feel seen, heard, and understood. But Angela's story was far more than just a career woman. She had dreams, hopes, and a future she'd been planning with Jason. Despite all that, Angela had her own struggles like anyone else. As much as she loved teaching, the weight of the job often took a toll on her. She found solace in her relationship with Jason, and together, they seemed to have it all. But on that fateful night, as Angela was preparing to meet Jason for their usual date, something went horribly wrong. At 7:45 p.m., Angela left her apartment heading to the cafe where she and Jason often met for dinner. But as the minutes ticked by, and Jason grew worried at the lack of her arrival, he texted her multiple times. No response. Angela's phone was switched off by 8:30, and by 9 p.m. Jason had already driven to her apartment, only to find it locked, empty, with no trace of her anywhere. Her belongings, her keys, her phone, her purse, were all left behind untouched. No one knew where she had gone or why. The investigation began with the usual questions. Where did Angela go? Who did she meet? Did she tell anyone where she was going? But as the hours turned to days with no trace of her, the case took a darker turn. Angela's apartment was scoured for evidence, but there was nothing. No signs of a struggle, no indication that she had been taken against her will. Her phone records showed the last call made to her best friend, Emily. That's when the investigation hit its first snag.
We noticed the last phone call she received was from her friend Emily, but we couldn't make out the details. It was only after going through Angela's phone that we saw something odd. A text message sent shortly before she left. A cryptic message from an unregistered number. "I'm waiting for you at the usual spot. Come alone." It didn't make sense. Angela never mentioned anyone else. And what did it mean by the usual spot? Something didn't add up.
2 days into the investigation, a lead surfaced. A witness came forward stating that they had seen a figure lurking near the building around the time of Angela's disappearance. But this wasn't the breakthrough the detectives had hoped for. The figure had been too far away, the angle too obscure. It wasn't until the local CCTV footage was reviewed that something strange came to light. The footage, however, wasn't as clear as it seemed. A dark figure walking briskly past the camera, pausing near Angela's door before disappearing around the corner. Was this the person Angela had been meeting, or was it someone else? And why did the footage stop, just as the figure came closer to the door? Jason, Angela's loving boyfriend of 3 years, was the first to be questioned. But as the investigation deepened, Jason's story began to unravel. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. He and Angela were happy, so why was he so defensive when questioned about her disappearance?
I didn't know what happened to her. I didn't do anything. I was at the game like I told you. She was supposed to meet me. I didn't hurt her. I loved her. You have to believe me.
As the hours went by, Jason's alibi seemed to check out. He had been at a basketball game with 11 friends, none of whom reported seeing him leave. But there was something off. His behavior, the inconsistencies in his statements. Angela's closest friends started to wonder if he was hiding something. Was his grief just an act?
Jason's not who he seems. I don't think Angela knew the whole story. I don't think anyone did. He was possessive, controlling, and...
Rachel, Jason's ex-girlfriend, had moved on from their past relationship. But when she heard about Angela's disappearance, she couldn't stay silent. She had a dark story to share. Jason had been manipulative, she said, and the more she spoke, the more the police realized Jason had a pattern of controlling behavior with his partners.
He'd make me feel guilty about everything. even when I did nothing wrong. It was like he was trying to break me down, and I know he was doing the same thing to Angela.
Days after the police discovered the text message Angela received, they made another shocking discovery. Angela's phone records revealed one final detail: a strange and untraceable phone number, one that no one could identify. The last person she spoke to, the last one to send her a message, had remained in the shadows, until now. Just over a week after Angela disappeared, her body was discovered in the woods on the outskirts of Cedar Ridge. She was found in a small clearing, barely visible among the trees. Her body showed signs of violent struggle. The medical examiner confirmed that Angela had been strangled before being stabbed multiple times. The autopsy revealed more than the cause of death. There was a defensive wound on Angela's hands, suggesting she fought for her life. She had bruises and cuts, evidence of a struggle with someone she knew. But it was the DNA evidence that changed everything. DNA found under Angela's nails didn't match anyone in her immediate circle, but it did match someone else, someone who was a part of her life, someone who had been there all along. Jason. But how? How could his DNA be under her nails? And if Jason wasn't the killer, then who was?
I didn't mean for it to happen. It just spiraled out of control. I didn't want anyone to know the truth. But now I can't keep hiding it.
Jason finally confessed to his role in Angela's death, but his confession wasn't the whole story. It was just the beginning. What he revealed sent shockwaves through the investigation. The truth was more complicated than anyone could have imagined. Angela's life insurance policy, her savings, and her unwillingness to leave Jason despite his increasing control, it all pointed to a single motive: money. But that wasn't all. Jason was obsessed with his power over Angela, and when he feared losing it, he acted. Angela's family had waited for this moment, but it came with mixed emotions. Justice for Angela, but a family torn apart by betrayal. Jason was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but no sentence would bring Angela back. Her life, her future had been stolen in a moment of rage and control. The case of Angela Montgomery reminds us that behind every closed door, behind every seemingly perfect life, there can be a darkness that we never see coming. Justice may have been served, but the memory of Angela, her life, her kindness, and her love will never fade. And with her story, we are reminded to always ask the hard questions and never ignore the signs.